Yeah, fine.
Okay, so
I can't find it, but that's nothing new.
Joan, can you look in your email, maybe on your phone? I emailed it to you like 20 minutes ago, and you can
Oh, okay. I'll look.
you can look at it on your phone as we go along.
Yeah. I don't see an email from you.
I don't see an email from you either.
Oh, interesting. I sent it to...
Let me look.
Because I can look at it on my phone if you send it.
I sent it to Brooks 613. I see. Huh.
Yeah, I picked up your link and just opened a second window, but
Okay, let me just. Joan, you're not able to see it in the chat bar at all?
I can't even find the chat bar, and when I do, your picture disappears and the whole thing goes blank.
Yep.
I'm not really good at this.
Rabbi Yogev, I got it.
Okay, so
The
Shira,
really technical people.
Shira has it
do it.
too, I think.
I'll just listen.
Okay.
Joan,
So-
I can email it to you. Let me do that.
Email it to me, please. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm fine with email, but this is the limit
This is
for what I can do without starting to cry.
you should have it now, Joan.
This is out of a lot of our comfort zones, so don't worry. All right. So I'm in the first source sheet. So I kind of just today I did this without a scanner, so I did this on my phone. So it's a little bit like it looks a little bit weird, but hopefully we'll be able to read it. So I'm on page 1 of the source sheet. I'm just going to read a little bit along with you, okay? Like it might be, yeah.
Does it begin with the asterisk on the?
Yeah, we all know on the first
Yeah,
page.
we all know. Okay.
Okay. So I'm reading that right now. I'm going to read it out loud. I'm going to do a little explanation, but I also kind of want to get through some of the text. So it's going to be a little bit texty for the next 5 minutes.
What he's sending through. He sent through something. And
Yeah. Did you guys get the link, Keith Ehrlich?
Yeah.
I have to let my dog
I'm looking
out.
right at it. So yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to read it. You can listen, okay? We all know that the Bible offers 2 accounts of the creation of man. We are also aware of the theory suggested by biblical critics, attributing these 2 accounts to 2 different traditions and sources. That's what we talked about in our last class. Of course, since we unreservedly accept the unity and integrity of the scriptures and their divine character, we reject this hypothesis, which is based, like much biblical criticism, on literary categories invented by modern man, ignoring completely the eidetic, noetic, I don't know what that means either, content of the biblical story. It is, of course, true that the 2 accounts of the creation of man differ considerably. I'm on page 10, which is page 2 of the handout. This incongruity was not discovered by Bible critics. Our sages of old were aware of it. So here it is. However, the answer lies not in an alleged dual tradition, meaning it's not 2 different authors at 2 different time periods. It's one author, God. But rather, God's trying to depict things in 2 ways. The 2 accounts go between 2 versions, but in a real contradiction in the nature of man. The 2 accounts deal with 2 Adams, 2 men, 2 fathers of mankind, 2 types, 2 representatives of humanity. And it is no wonder that they are not identical. Let us just read these 2 accounts. Okay, so far everybody's able to follow?
Yep.
Okay, let me just go back to bigger view here.
Article.
How's everyone doing so far? Are you able to follow? All right,
I just
cool.
got the email.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
No problem.
Cool. Shira, how you doing over there?
Okay, good.
All right. Do you have any crackers or anything for us over here?
Oh, no. I just wanted to see how everything was going and if, you guys need help. That's all.
Okay.
But you're good.
So far, so
Doing
good.
great.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. All right. Let's keep moving. So I'm going to skip a little bit over because we read about the differences together. So I'm going to skip over them. But the main difference is I'm actually going to mute a little bit here with all love to everyone. Oh, I just muted myself. 1 second.
Yeah, don't mute yourself.
That wouldn't be good. I'm just going to mute the crowd. 1 second.
Maybe Rob, maybe he could mute himself.
Yeah. I'm not signed in as a host right now, so
that's a problem.
Yeah, so
Everybody mute yourself.
if you need to cough or well, maybe mute yourself and unmute yourself if you need to talk. Is that okay?
Right. Everyone probably should be muted and then unmute to contribute.
Yeah, I didn't sign in as a host here, so all right. Let me claim host. Let's see. 229. Let me see if this works. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. If you can mute, everyone can please mute themselves. That'd be great. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the differences between them, but basically the first Adam in the story is much more proactive. He's out to conquer the world. The second Adam is much more spiritual. He's much more into like mysteries of the world. And Rav Soloveitchik very creatively takes 4 differences between the 2 Adams and shows how both of those differences, all those differences hint to the 2 depictions of the individuals. So if you look at this second link that I added here, I tried to add the chart. Let me see if this works. I just added it into the chat section. So this is a chart that I sent out. That's not it. That's the wrong chart. Sorry. All right, so never mind. Let's keep going. So I'm just going to keep going. All right, so let's go. So I want to talk about. So why am I talking about this today? First off, we're learning Rav Soloveitchik, so we need to learn this. But in addition, I want to understand how he understands the first Adam, and he understands the second Adam, and what lessons we can take from them today. We have 12 minutes to do so. Maybe we can tack on another 2 minutes. So we have maybe about 14 minutes or whatever, but let's see. I think we'll get through some of it, and hopefully we'll leave with a takeaway. So I am on the bottom of page, let's see, I'm going to be on page, I am on page 14 of the handout, which is page, let me see, page 4, wait, 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's page 14, it's page 6 of the handout. It says, what is Adam the first out to achieve? You see that? Is everybody there? Oh, Mark Levy. Okay, sorry, you're muted. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to the bottom.
Yeah.
Let's keep it simple, okay? Let's go to the bottom of page 3. 1, 2, 3. It's page 11 in the handout. Let's go to the bottom of page 11 of the handout, okay? It says, let us portray these 2 men. Let's keep it simple. Bottom of page 3 of the handout, which is page 11. Let us portray these 2 men. Adam the first and Adam the second in typological categories. So here we go. It says Adam the first, when the Torah talks about Adam the first, it mentions the idea of image of God. So here's how Rav Soloveitchik explains the image of God. There is no doubt that the term image of God in the first account refers to man's inner charismatic endowment as a created being. I'm on page 4, which is page 12 in the handout. Man's likeness to God expresses itself in man's striving and ability to become a creator. Adam the first, who was fashioned in the image of God, was blessed with great drive for creative activity and immeasurable resources for the realization of this goal, the most outstanding of which is the intelligence, the human mind, capable of confronting the outside world and inquiring onto its complex workings. Now here's the important part. In spite of the boundless divine generosity providing man with many intellectual capacities and interpretive perspectives in his approach to reality, God, in imparting the blessing to Adam the first and giving him the mandate to subdue nature, directed Adam's attention to the functional, practical aspects of his intellect, through which man is able to gain control of nature. I said a lot of words. Here's the summary. The summary is that the first Adam was given intellect. That intellect is his image of God. Okay. Now, what's unique about Adam 1's image of God, his intellect? It's practical. It's looking through science and mathematics to subdue nature, to control nature, and to conquer nature. And Rav Soloveitchik says that's someone's heard a little noise. So Rav Soloveitchik said that's perfectly okay. That's wonderful. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Part of our essence is to subdue and control nature and be able to overcome. Hi, Devora. Are you in the same room as Robert, or? Okay, so everyone, those who sign in, please mute yourselves as you come in. But what's powerful about this depiction of Adam 1, I'm already going to tell you, okay? Giving it away. This depiction of Adam 1 is empowering. There's a discussion now among rabbis and different groups. How much do we have to listen to the doctors? Everybody now has succumbed to the guidance of medicine, even the ultra-Orthodox community. It took them a long time to follow suit with the more, like, I guess, more modern communities. And unfortunately, there's been some negative effects of their slow reaction. And Rav Soloveitchik here, I think, is speaking out against that. And maybe in like an indirect way, but he's saying, we are not just spiritual beings. We are creatures who have an intellect, and we are destined, or we're mandated to rule nature, subdue nature, and make it work towards our benefit. And it's not just that that's okay. That's our image, our divine image. If we express that divine image, we are living a godly life. So that's a beautiful idea, I think. And basically, it's very empowering for a modern person to hear Rav Soloveitchik say that whole modern side of their personality is part of their divine essence. He doesn't stop there, though. That's what's also nice about Rav Soloveitchik. He never defined himself as modern Orthodox. That's like a term that people offered. His followers actually preferred centrist Orthodox, like Rabbi Norman Lamb. He didn't want to be modern, because when you say modern, you open up to everything. But they had the same idea, the idea of embracing science, embracing modernity, embracing scientific discoveries, medical discoveries, and making them part of our lives and incorporating them and actually investigating them and engaging in space discovery and all those things. That's part of being divine beings, which is like an amazing idea, I think. And so that's what he's saying here. Adam 1 is that type of person, and that's okay. It's not just okay. It's a godly mandate. So that's kind of what he's saying here. Anybody have any questions on that? I'm going to read a little bit more. It'll become a little bit clearer. Anybody have any questions on that in the intro?
No, it's clear. Let's go.
Okay. Who is that? All right. Somebody wants us to keep going, so we will. All right. So I'm continuing now. Let's see. Okay, I'm continuing now to page, oh, I got a message here. It was Shira. Okay. An LOL from Shira. Okay, so I'm on page 13, which is page 4 in your handout. I believe it's page 4. Page 13, Lonely Man of Faith. There's a star on the side where it says, what is his essence? Right? What is its essence? So go like a few lines up. It says, he is not fascinated by the question, why does the cosmos function at all? So which is pretty awesome. He's saying, Adam 1, he's not a philosopher. He is a pragmatic mathematician or scientist. He's trying to figure out, what do I do with everything I see? It doesn't matter to him why. He wants to know what to do with it. So he says, he is not fascinated by the question, why does the cosmos function at all? Nor is he interested in the question, what is its essence? He's only curious to know how it works. In fact, even this how question with which Adam the First is preoccupied is limited in scope. He is concerned not with the question per se, but with its practical implications. He raises not a metaphysical, but a practical, technical how question. And so I'm going to skip a little bit after that. So let's go to the next page, which is page 15. It says, what is Adam the First out to achieve? And he says here, what is the objective towards which he is incessantly drives himself with enormous speed? The objective, it is self-evident, can be only one, namely, that which God put up before him, to be man, to be himself. Through doing these things, investigating, searching, embracing science and modern medicine, all those things, he's being himself. Adam the First wants to be human, to discover his identity, which is bound up with his humanity. How does Adam find himself? He works with a simple equation introduced by the psalmist, who proclaimed the singularity and unique station of man in nature. For thou made him a little lower than the angels and has crowned him with glory and honor, dignity. And I'm going to stop there. This is another piece that Rav Soloveitchik adds. Adam 1, his main interest is dignity. It's not spirituality. It's not necessarily like the hidden mysteries. It's dignity, living a life of dignity. That's pretty awesome, I think. I think it's pretty awesome. He's saying that if you want to be a divine being, God has dignity. You have to have, how do you have dignity? By trying to conquer the world. And he goes on actually in the source to talk about times of plagues in earlier generations. I want to show you that. Okay, I want to show you that. Here, on the next page, on two pages down, which is page 16. Page 16, he says, man of old, on the bottom of the page, page 16. And if you can't find it, you could just listen. Page 16, on the bottom of the page. Man of old who could not fight disease, hello, and succumbed in multitudes to yellow fever or any other plague with degrading helplessness, could not lay claim to dignity. Only the man who builds hospitals, discovers therapeutic techniques, and saves lives is blessed with dignity. Man of the 17th and 18th centuries who needed several days to travel from Boston to New York, page 17, was less dignified than modern man who attempts to conquer space, boards a plane at the New York airport at midnight, and takes several hours as later a leisurely walk along the streets of London. The brute is helpless and therefore not dignified. Civilized man has gained limited control of nature and has become, in certain respects, her master. And with his mastery, he has gained dignity as well. His mastery has made it possible for him to act in accordance with his responsibility. Okay, so that's a pretty awesome source. Anybody concur? Maybe you can like nod your head or just give me a thumbs up or something. All right. Hi, Eva. If you can mute, we love you. If you can mute your okay. No, we love you. It's all good. So I think this is powerful for our day. Rav Soloveitchik's already saying we have to live a life of dignity. We have to embrace all these things he's talking about. And it's not just for doing an okay thing. We are living our real one side of our humanity, Adam 1. Now I want to introduce to you Adam 2. The problem sometimes with a modern Orthodox perspective is you can get very caught in the modern and you forget about the Orthodox or the spirituality. So Rav Soloveitchik was sensitive to that. So he said Adam 2 is a whole different being. And us as spiritual beings, as people who are following the Torah, we have to strive to embrace both sides of our personality. Adam 1 and Adam 2. We all have Adam 1, Adam 2. We all have Eve 1, Eve 2 inside of us. I know some people like that. All right. Anyway, so my Rabbi Linzer once wrote an article on Eve 1 and Eve 2. I can send it to you. It was nice, actually. Because everyone talks about Adam 1 and Adam 2. What about Eve 1 and Eve 2? I once thought about doing like the serpent 1 and serpent 2. I don't know. But I don't know if the serpent appears in both stories. Anyway, continuing. So
Rabbi Linzer wrote that?
Rabbi Linzer wrote an article. Yeah, I'll send out an email after this with that article on Eve 1 and Eve 2.
Cool.
It's cool, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so continuing. So Adam 2 is a spiritual being. I'm already going to say like up front, the direction I want to go with this is that I feel like today we oftentimes fall into like the danger of becoming too Adam 1 or Adam 2 in Corona days. What do I mean? Sometimes you can become very, very overwhelmed with Adam 1 to the point that like you're overwhelmed with fear. You're taking science very, very seriously to the point that it can become obsessive, and it can diminish. It's not Lilith, no, it's another Eve. But you're right. This is answering Mark's text. So Adam 2, I think, comes to balance that. Like Adam 2 is a completely spiritual being. We'll see a little bit that he writes on him, but it's important in these days, if you're following all the precautions and everything, you're doing everything right, to not forget about your spiritual side. It's hard sometimes because it's not handed to us now. We don't have the shul. We don't have like the rabbis. We don't have all of our books. We don't have everything, a lot of things that we usually have. But it's important to try to find a connection in our days. And there are many ways to do it. But Adam 2 is part of our essence too. And if we forget that, we can slowly become disconnected. And that could be a danger of today too. So I think that's like an important direction of trying to find the balance between Adam 1 and Adam 2. So I just want to read a little bit on Adam 2. It's on the next page. So it's on the next page. So let's read a little bit of this. Adam the second is like Adam the first, also intrigued by the cosmos. Intellectual curiosity drives them both to confront courageously the mysterium magnum of being. However, while the cosmos provokes Adam the first to quest for power and control, making him ask the functional how question, Adam the second responds to the call of the cosmos by engaging in a different kind of cognitive gesture. He does not ask a single functional question. Instead, his inquiry is of a metaphysical nature and a threefold one. He wants to know, why is it? What is it? Who is it? So he's not, this is a spiritual person who's searching for deeper meaning behind things. So I'm not going to get into like the different questions. You can read them, but you can read them on your own. But I just wanted to let's read another little piece here of this text. Let me see. On the next page, towards the bottom, this is page 21. It says, in order to answer this triple question, and with this we'll be done, Adam the second does not apply the functional method invented by Adam the first. He does not create a world of his own. He wants to understand the living given world into which he has been cast. Like when we're sitting, we're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, who we are and what we should do spiritually. We have to sit back and try to reflect on it. He does not mathematize phenomena or conceptualize things. He encounters the universe in all its colorfulness, splendor, and grandeur, and studies it with naivete, awe, and admiration of the child who seeks the unusual and wonderful in every ordinary thing and event. So that's another thing. Like while we're still, God willing, we'll still be able to walk outside, look at nature. There's opportunities to connect to God in nature. There's opportunities to connect to God in a silent moment in your bedroom or in your living room. Try to seize them if you have the time to do that. Adam 2, your Adam 2 would want you to do that, or your Eve 2, okay? While Adam the first is dynamic and creative, transforming sensory data into thought constructs, Adam the second is receptive and beholds the world in its original dimensions. He looks for the image of God, not in the mathematical formula or the natural relational law, but in every beam of light, in every bud and blossom, in the morning breeze and the stillness of a starlit evening. Okay, so that's Adam 2. I'm not going to keep going, but on the next page, he says, we as humans have to find expression to both of these because they both are inside of us. We can't be completely human if they don't both have expression. So I think it's really something to think about today, like right now, trying to find ways to give expression, to accept the medical advice and everything, but to not lose our spiritual connection and not lose our connection to Adam 2 amidst it all. So I think it's something to think about today. He offered a few ways to do it, to appreciate nature, but there are other ways. You can join online. There's unlimited classes, not just at Beth Tefillah. I've listened to so many rabbis I've never listened to today. There's meditation, there's music, there's so many ways to connect today. And it's important not to forget Adam 2 amidst the drama of Adam 1 today. So I think that's an important message for us. And so we were able to learn a little bit of Rav Soloveitchik and a little bit of a practical message.
When you equated Orthodox with spiritual a few minutes ago, I'm wondering why you used Orthodox and spiritual in the same phrase.
That's a good point.
What made you say that?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would say I wouldn't say that Orthodoxy isn't always spiritual, unfortunately.
It's not.
Unfortunately, but
Orthodox means correct thinking. It has nothing to do with spiritual necessarily.
so I was talking
But
more
go
in
ahead.
terms of
No, it's not correct thinking.
more in terms of orthodoxy on the ground, like Jewish orthodoxy. Or Jewish orthodoxy is.
Are you talking about observance, Rabbi?
Not necessarily. I'm talking about like you're right in highlighting that Rav Soloveitchik's discussion of spirituality is a little different than orthodoxy. Orthodoxy can encompass spirituality, religiosity, the proper way of thinking. I look at it as the broad term, although I agree with you that originally orthodoxy is differently, like the original term is different, but I'm looking at it as a general umbrella term for spiritual and religious engagements. And I think that that finding Adam 2 today is connected to that realm. But you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.